Welcome back, guys. I hope you guys are doing very good and safe at your place. It's me, Badrinath, and in this video, I will be explaining you about a new research topic that was proposed by us. In this presentation, I will clearly explain you how this research topic is framed and how we can understand the major research document. The topic that we have selected is prediction and management of risks at construction sites. To complete this work, it is very important for us to have a data set and we need to formulate a model. We know that construction sites are prone to different types of risks. There are several risks that influences construction projects. For example, financial risks, operational risks, supply chain risks, and physical risks. Financial risks are related to the availability of funds to complete the project. Operational risks will be related to the scarcity of the raw materials and resources that are required to complete the project. Supply chain risk is all about delays in supply of materials and because of which project experiencing unexpected and unwanted delays and increase in cost of the project. Ahead of all, it is very important for organization to understand what are physical risks and why we should handle them. Physical risks are something that could damage the construction project or the resources that are working at the location. The resources like damaging property means so sometimes when some natural calamities or some unexpected issues happen at the project, maybe the project might be collapsing or causing damage to the project which needs to be reconstructed or reworked on it. The other type of risks are physical risks are the risks that could happen to the people that are working at the organization. Most often, people working at the organization will be getting injured because of the inappropriate planning of risk, health, and safety at the location. If those aspects are properly planned, it could not result in causing damage to the resources that are contributing to the project. Sometimes these risks results in death of the people who are working for the organization and it causes unexpected resistance from the employees working at the location. So it is very crucial that the organization that is handling the construction project to understand possible physical risks that could happen at the organization, sorry, at the construction site, and it is very important to create appropriate strategies to overcome such risks. In this project, what we have done is we have conducted a proper literature review to understand the possible physical risks that could happen to the organization and the damage that could cause to the people that are working at the location. And based on the data research that is conducted, we will be evaluating and proposing some certain conclusions and recommendations. The main purpose of this research is to develop a proper risk prediction model that could be applied for any construction project, and by using it it is possible to predict happening of the risk and appropriate strategies can be taken by the organization understanding predictions. Okay guys, let us start understanding different aspects of the project. Let me start briefing you overview of the presentation. According to the prepared presentation, it discusses about aims and objectives of the project. Then it discusses about process of the research, means explanation about the different milestones that are involved in completion of this proposed project. Next, will be discussing about what new we are doing in this project, which speaks about what is proved and how it will be proved. Okay, what we are going to prove and how it will be proved. Next is what is the possible outcome of the research that we are conducting. and a final slide. As I stated, the main aim of this project is to develop a risk assessment model to predict about physical risks at construction projects. We will be developing a prediction model using which we can predict possible risks, physical risks at the construction project. Some of the important objectives that we are going to accomplish as a part of completing this project include assessing physical risk that could happen while conducting the construction projects. So in a day-to-day operations, when we are managing construction projects, the possible physical risks that could be experienced by the project should be identified as an initial step. Next, it is identifying the reasons for those physical risks. Okay, so when we know what are the risks, next part is understanding why those risks are created or experienced by the organizations. Are there any possible reasons that could be handled by the organization to overcome the risk is the main aim. Okay, so if we understand that aim, like how what are the reasons for the risk, it will be easy for us to mitigate or solve those risks or avoid those risks. Okay, next it is identifying and evaluating construction risk mitigation strategies. So we will be examining different types of risk management strategies exclusively that is related to the physical risks. What are the different strategies that we will be using to overcome those risks? Next, so the main part. So as we are proposing to create a risk model, a new risk assessment model, we will be using machine learning approach. Okay, so we will be applying machine learning and data analytics in this project to create a new risk assessment model. Okay, so I will explain you in a different video how we are going to use machine learning or data analytics to evaluate available data and develop risk assessment model. Okay guys, so after completing application of the next, like, we learn how machine learning will be applied, then we develop a model by using machine learning approach. Okay, so by doing this we will be creating a risk assessment model using which we can predict when we give certain number of values to a model, it will be uh, giving a result based on which we can understand whether the project, the organization is experiencing any risks or not, like possible to experience any risk or not, based on which considering the result we can make need like required changes to the risk mitigation strategy that we are implemented at the organization, and we can avoid those risks. Next, we will be testing the model. So we use the data and we test the data set that is used will be used again to test the model, and based on the test results we can say how accuracy is our test. Okay, so based on which we will be deciding how accurate whether the model that is generated by is a appropriate model or not. Okay, so this is all about our project aim and like by this I guess I am very clear about the aim that we are going to do, and the aim of the project that we are going to do, and the objectives that are included in the project. So the important milestones of the research project are listed here. According to this design, these two milestones are already achieved and we are in this milestone, and these milestones are yet to come. The first milestone of the project is conducting literature study. I have already initiated literature study. I hope you guys have properly fixed it. Assessing physical risks. Next one is understanding the reasons for the physical risks and evaluating construction risk mitigation strategies, and how machine learning can be used. So these points are covered in the literature study and it is done. Next one is the research and selection of the data set. So to apply machine learning, it is very important for us to have a data set. Without data set, we cannot analyze it and we cannot predict anything. So we need certain amount of data to conduct analysis. For that purpose, we will be using a data. Okay, let me show you the data set that we are going to use. In the folder that is shared to you, you can see list of data sets that are available. In that, we will be using this one, Sugandha Singh safety parameters in Indian sites. Okay, so let me check this one. Oh my god. So they are YouTube initial videos. Chalo. So this is the data set that we are going to use. It contains different values, and we have after accident data and proactive data. Both the data sets are available using which we will be conducting analysis. Okay, I will be explaining you the complete data set, and different columns that are existing in the data set will be clearly explained to you, and the purpose of using those columns will be clearly explained to the researchers that are working on the project. Okay guys, so as of now we have selected data set and we already researched about it, and we conducted we wrote, like we clearly described what is the data set and what are the columns of data that it contains, columns and rows of data that it contains. Okay, next milestone is application of machine learning and data analytics to develop prediction model. Okay, this will be done maybe in a week or so. Then we will be testing the prediction model. So whatever the data we have, we will be dividing it into two parts. One will be used to develop the model, and the second part will be used to the test model. The data set that will be used by is real-time data, and it definitely, like for example, when we have a real-time data, the test process will be very accurate and it provides proper proper results. Okay, after this testing we can understand the accuracy of the model. If the accuracy is not appropriate, we try to make needed changes and we retest it, and we ensure that at least the accuracy model is at least 90%, which is optimally a good percentage. Okay, next, whatever the results we have achieved, we will be documenting them, and we write recommendations and conclusions. We submit the final research report. So now you people might be getting like or confused, like what kind of activity is this and what we are going to do. Actually, see, when we are doing a major research document, it is very important to prove what we are doing new. So we should, the result that we are going to achieve should be a new thing, like new one. uh, so so considering this project, you will be having a question like what is the new thing that we are going to do. So first thing is that the data that we are analyzing is, I'm sorry guys, the data that we are analyzing is first of its kind, and the way we analyze it will be the definitely the first of its kind. So it means that we are doing a primary research and the results that we will be achieving will be unique. Understood? Number one. Number two is we will be creating a risk calculation equation. So for example, when we are not bothered about implementation of safety measures, XYZ risk is caused. So we create an equation considering not implementation of risk strategy, like maybe not taking care of materials at the workplace, not proper placing of the materials at workplace, employees not following health and safety, and some other XYZ things. These four factors involved in creation of risk, we will be creating a equation using all those four factors. How we can say, if we rate it like health and safety implemented properly. For that, if we give 5 points for 10, so we say that 5 times of health and safety plus 4 times of not proper placements. In that way, we create a equation and we ensure that a risk is calculated. So this is just explained. For example, when we consider data set, the kind of factors that we use to create risk calculation will be different. Okay, next, it is about accuracy of the equation. So the accuracy of the equation that we have created will depend on confusion matrix. Okay, that will be clear to you when I explain you about machine learning model. Okay, so after completion of the creation of the equation and testing the data, we will be understanding how many times the tested data is providing you the appropriate actual value. For example, if we should get 10, how many times it is giving 10? When we should get 7, how many times it is giving 7 and how many times it is not giving? Based on that, we will be creating a confusion matrix. Confusion matrix speaks about how many times the value is correct and how many times the value is incorrect. Okay, based on the confusion matrix, we can say accuracy of the model that we have created. So overall, I can say that the ultimate thing that we are going to prove is create is risk prediction equation. So when we have a risk prediction equation, the risk prediction equation consists of variables, means independent variables, using which we will be forming a equation. That equation, that variables will be can be adjusted by the organization to reduce risk. Okay, so we consider in such a way that the variables that mostly result in risk will be considered maximum, and we suggest organization to take care of those things, like whatever the variables that we have identified, to avoid possible risks at the organization. Understood, guys? So we will be creating a risk prediction equation which will be in which will be based on the data that we have used, and the risk prediction equation will be realistic, and it is created from the real-time data. Okay, this is all about your project, the proposed project. Okay, guys, that's it. I hope you understood, and all the best for your project. Thank you.